We're asked to figure out what angle x is, given that cotangent of x is equal to -1. And they said x is somewhere in the fourth quadrant. Because look, it says x is between whether it's 270 degrees and 360 degrees. Right? So x is somewhere over here. That's the terminal side. Oh, sorry, that's not x. X is all the way over here. Okay. So we can draw a right triangle by making an angle with the x-axis. We can do this with reference triangles, meaning those special triangles that we memorized. So you've got this one. Draw in the unit circle to make your life easier. And what's opposite of 30 is always a side length of 1/2. And what's opposite of 60 is always square root of 3/2. And then the other triangle we have in our tool belt is an isosceles, a 45-45 triangle. So these are both square root of 2/2. That way the Pythagorean theorem still holds, and it equals 1 when you square both of them and add them. Okay, so we got where it's supposed to be drawn. It's a cotangent ratio. Remember, cotangent is just the reciprocal of tangent. So cotangent's the adjacent divided by the opposite, because tangent's opposite over adjacent. So cotangent's the reciprocal, adjacent over opposite. So we need it to equal -1. The negative sign's already taken care of if you consider all students take calculus. This is a quick device to help you know that all trig functions are positive here. Sine and cosecant are positive here. Tangent and cotangent are positive here. And then cosine and secant are positive here. Okay. What else is I going to do? I think that's all the basics. But you could also get that. You don't have to memorize these. You could also get that from the fact that this is a negative dimension, right? You're going down. So whatever side here is going to be negative, and this side is going to be positive. And since cotangent's the opposite, it's the adjacent divided by opposite, you're going to have a positive divided by a negative. Okay, but that's two different ways of doing the same problem. So if you figured out one way and the other way, what I explained confused you, you don't technically need it. It's good to know both. But so we need to figure out the angle to go here so that the adjacent divided by the opposite would equal -1. And so with these two triangles that we have, this could be an adjacent or an opposite. This could be an adjacent or an opposite. But if you divide those two, they're never going to equal 1, right? So that means this is the only triangle that's going to help us. So we're all done. We know this has to be 45 degrees because it's the only way the adjacent divided by the opposite is going to equal -1. This divided by this makes -1, so that's our cotangent ratio. So your final answer isn't 45 degrees though, because remember we always state angles from the initial side to the terminal side. So it's 360 degrees all the way around a circle. We just got to cut out that 45 degrees. So we got x is 315 degrees, or you can convert it to radians by sticking a pi on there and dividing by 180 and then simplifying that fraction.